So welcome back to another shop tour. The 1950 25-foot Chris Craft twin engine Sportsman. We are getting very close to our final sanding, and then we're going to stain. And so it's just an extensive amount of woodwork we've done on this. If you've watched the past videos, shop tours and stuff, you'd seen that this boat came from California in the desert for 30 years. Unfortunately, we weren't able to save any of the wood on this. So people ask all the time, like, is it a new boat, or why didn't you build just a new boat? Or our feeling on that is it came in here with a hull number, and we stamped everywhere on this boat that same hull number in that exact same place. And so it came in here as a 25-foot Sportsman, and it's going to leave here as a 25-foot Sportsman that Chris Craft built. So we saved another boat. That's the key right there. And the owner really wanted a twin engine boat. They're hard to find. They only made 42 of them. And so, he was willing to pay for the restoration, and he's going to get a boat that's just spectacular. It's going to be just basically a brand new boat. We have the engines over there. We're going to wait till the international show's over before we set the engines in, but we really have to take the boat apart to varnish everything, to stain it and varnish it. So stay tuned for that in future videos, but leave in the comments below what you think. Like, is this still a Chris Craft 25-foot Sportsman? Or because we had to replace every piece of wood, now it's not a 25-foot Chris Craft Sportsman? So leave those comments below. I'd be interested in hearing what your opinions are on that. So awesome boat though. It came out super fair, super nice. It's gonna stain out and just be beautiful wood. We book matched all the planking. That means we took planks of wood, we split it. This piece and that piece on the other side in this exact same place are identical. So pretty cool when you do that. It's just a great boat. So we got the 17-foot special Runabout. We took this boat down to bare wood and then faired it all down and sanded it, and then stained it, and it's got about 12 coats of varnish on it right now. We're waiting for the artist to come in. He'll put the name and the numbers. We'll put Chris Craft on the side, put final coats on it, put the hardware back on it, and then get it back to the customer. So it's very close. We took a break on the 1929 triple just because we have some other stuff that we'll show you that we're getting ready for the international show. So we took a little break on that. But this shouldn't be, it should be fun to do. I mean, we're going to be planking this probably in about a month, and that'll be a fun job. So we got a 1949 17-foot Chris Craft Deluxe. This boat is all original. Has original interior in it, except for the cushions on the seats. But other than that, this boat is completely original. Original engine to the boat. The bottom's in pretty good shape. It's a little rough on the sides, but what we're going to do on this boat is we're going to do a preservation restoration. And we'll share that with you. What the difference is we're not going to take this boat apart and do a full-on blown restoration on it. We're going to try to preserve what's there, because this is factory stain. Now, it's browned out because the sun fades the red out over years, and that's where people get a little mixed up that, well, my boat is darker or lighter or not the same color, but the sun bleaches out kind of the red on it. So, but we'll go through the whole boat and preserve it. We're gonna go through the engine to make sure that's all squared away. May put a new fuel tank in it if the fuel tank is too messed up inside and too corroded inside. We'll rebuild the carburetors, get it running, do the bottom, paint the bottom. We're just gonna caulk and fix the seams on the bottom because the bottom's really tight. So we'll get that done, and it'll be a super cool boat. I mean, not very often do you see an all original boat come into the shop, and this is a great survivor. So one of the things we do is try to do things exactly like Chris Craft did it. So these are a battery box and a toolbox. A good friend of mine was able to put together and measure out and do a drawing of the battery box and toolboxes of Chris Craft. They use these for a long time. They're all pretty much the same. Obviously the batteries change different sizes, but I have plans for all that. They are on my Patreon, so if you're a Patreon member, you get access to that kind of stuff. But it's just fun to work off of plans, make them all the same, and make them just like Chris Craft did. The plans were taken off of original battery boxes and tool boxes because a can of oil would go in here, and then you'd have your tool kit inside of here. So it's just an extra added detail that we do here, and they're kind of fun to build. So the 1941 Chris Craft 16-foot hydroplane barrelback. We're getting super close. We did have this in a show. If you saw a video of the Traverse City Boat Show, which I would suggest you do, there's a lot of nice boats in that. That we put that out a few weeks ago. We're really close to this. We are waiting for an exhaust pipe, just like on the Cobra. If you've been following the channel, they're hard to get in 2 3/4, but one is coming, and so we're getting super close. The interior's done on this, the dash. I've got to do the wiring. It's going to take me a couple days to do the wiring, put the wiring in the boat. But other than that, the boat is pretty much complete. It's just one of the most beautiful and rarest boats I've ever done. And I love it. I mean, I think it's probably one of the rarest Chris Crafts in existence. As far as a runabout goes, I know they made cruisers in numbers of 3 and 9. They only made 19 of these. There's only 7 left. And so, to me, this is one of the rarest Chris Crafts out there. And it's been a lot of fun and just an honor to be able to restore a boat like this. We're trying to do it justice with making sure everything is just like it left the factory. That's kind of what we specialize in, and we do a lot of other jobs, but this is what we really specialize in. And so this is a great piece to have. The gentleman that owns this boat, he's got a 19-foot barrelback as well. So he's a barrelback lover, and this is a great addition to his little collection. All right, so this boat came in just for a name on the back, and that happens every once in a while. We'll get a boat from somewhere else. It was restored somewhere else, but they want our artist and our ability to put a gold leaf name on the back. This is an 18-foot Riviera. They did a great restoration on it. It's a super nice boat. It's got the triple carb on it, so whenever you see this cowling on here, this big piece of hardware, that means that there is a triple carb underneath, because the carburetors would sit above the deck of the boat. So Chris Craft added that, and that's the same on the hydroplane. You know, that has a big cowling over it too. So super cool boats. I love the Rivieras and the Capris. I think they're awesome boats. And then we've got this boat here. This is a pretty special boat, and I don't show it a lot just because we took a little bit of time and didn't work on it, but we're back onto it again, and we've got some more help. Caleb's here, and he's been working on it, and he's been doing a great job. This is a 1937 135 class Ventner hydroplane. This is a true hydroplane, what they used to race back in 1947. This one has a flathead Ford 60 V8 in it, and it has 3 pipes sticking straight out the side, so it's straight piped right off the engine. And the middle pipe, because it's a V8, which is an 8-cylinder, the middle pipe shares both cylinders for exhaust. So that's why you see 3. The canvas will go on here, as you can see in the back, has already been canvassed, and then we paint that, prime it and paint it. They pretty much did that for lightweight. This boat was built just like an aircraft wing. And then Ventner had a patent way back, I'm not sure when that started, but they had a patent to trap air underneath the boat and then ride on 3 points. Hence the sponsons on both sides, and then the step in the bottom, and it rode on 3 points. So these boats went about 50 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour, depending on the class, depending on the engine. And so super special race boat. They're getting more and more popular, actually, which in the vintage races, people do vintage races now. There's one in Buffalo, there's one in Mount Dora, Florida, and I think there's one in Washington too. So people actually run the circuit and do vintage racing in them. And so just a fantastic boat. This boat will be all white. It's named Tommy Boy. That's the way it was named way back in 1947 when it raced. So we're going to paint that on here. We're going to paint it all white. We're going to paint Tommy Boy down here. We're going to put a number on it. We're going to put all the old stickers on it and make it look just like it did back in the day in 1947 when it raced. So super cool project. We've been working on it for a number of years, but slowly picking away at it because this is not something I normally do. You know, I usually don't do race boats like this. This is the first one I've ever done, but just a special boat, special race boat, and it has some racing history too, so that's kind of cool. So the 1955 Chris Craft Cobra, 21 foot with the Cadillac engine in it, one of 18 built. Again, if you've seen the other shop tours, you've seen us restoring this boat over a period of almost 2 years. We are so close. The tail is done and back. They did a fantastic job. Mark Norton painted the tail for us. Amazing painter. We just got a little bit of detail work to do. We're trying to do a little bit of detail on the engine. We got the exhaust pipes back and they're bent properly. We're painting the exhaust elbows and then we'll finalize that. We're pretty much a day or two away from starting up this engine. And so we're gonna water test it. We're gonna put all the hardware on it. We're gonna water test it and then we'll lift it back up, bring it back to the shop. The new trailer's made for it, Phoenix trailer. If you don't know Phoenix trailers, you should look into them. We are a dealer for those and they are absolutely the best trailer that I've ever put a boat on. We'll water test it and then we'll paint the bottom properly. This one is spectacular. I'll tell you, this one is probably one of the nicest Cobras that I know of and the most correct one that I know of. And that's what we've tried to achieve. It's a fantastic boat. The owner has a couple different boats and this will be a great addition to his collection. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Just a super cool race boat and I hope you enjoy seeing this. Don't forget the International Boat Show, the 2023 ACBS, Antique Classic Boat Society International Boat Show. It's in Petoskey. You'll see the hydroplane there, you'll see the barrel back there. You may see this there in the parking lot or at our booth or something. If you're around town, Petoskey, or you're in the state or want to travel to it, it's in Petoskey, Michigan at Bay Harbor. It's worth going to. We'll have boats there from all over the United States, some of the finest antique wooden boats in the world, and there'll be about 100 plus boats there. So it's really worth the trip. If you're into antique wooden boats, it'll be a great show. And that is in September, right between the 10th and the 15th, 16th. It's on that Friday and Saturday of that week. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to help out with the channel, there's the Patreon account. Leave your comments below if you have any, and we will see you back here.